Hello and welcome to the lesson. Last time we learned how to use frames. Frames are quite obsolete and don't have many practical applications in modern web design. An exception is the so-called iframe. We can imagine the iframe as a page embedded within another page. This element is used very frequently. For example, Google Maps or YouTube videos are usually embedded into other websites using the iframe. Let's look at an example of using the iframe. I've prepared two simple pages. The white page is titled Page 1 and the yellow page is titled Page 2. In our example, we're going to embed the contents of Page 2 inside Page 1. Let's take a look at the code. Here's Page 1. I'll insert the iframe code right before the H1 element. I'll start by creating the opening iframe tag. I'll immediately close it because it's a paired tag. The src attribute is the most important one because it specifies the source page. I'll set the value to page2.html. Using CSS, I'll also specify the height and width properties. I'll set the width to 500 pixels and the height to 200 pixels. I'll refresh the page so we can see how it looks in the browser. As you can see, the yellow page is embedded within the white one and we can scroll through it. Interesting, isn't it? The iframe inside a page is basically a window through which we display another page, which may also be placed on a different server. To demonstrate everything, I'll switch back to the source code. I'll modify the src attribute to specify the Wikipedia website as the source. I just thought of one on New York City. I'll maximize the browser, and as you can see, our iframe displayed a page from a remote server. This almost always works, unless the page being embedded puts up some sort of active resistance. Here you can see an embedded Wikipedia page. Unfortunately, some of the links overlap each other. I've set the width too small, and Wikipedia was not able to adapt, so I'll increase it to 800 pixels. Now I'll show you that we can work with embedded Wikipedia just as we would with a regular one. I can click on the links or select text. Basically, I can do virtually anything I could do if Wikipedia was viewed normally in the browser. Now we're going to look at iframe-related attributes. I'll switch back to the code and type frame border equals 0 right here. This is one of the most frequently used attributes. Its purpose is to set the border of the iframe. I'll show you in the browser. Can you see it? The frame border has disappeared. Next, I'm going to show you how the browser processes text enclosed within the iframe element. You can type in any text you want. I'll just write lorem ipsum. Although I'd like to demonstrate how the browser processes this text, I can't. This text will only be displayed in a browser that doesn't support iframes. The last time I saw such a browser was about 10 years ago. Still, coders consider it polite not to omit the text. Now we'll see how links leading from an inline frame work. I'll get back to our original example. I also prepared a third page and made it blue so we can easily distinguish between the three. Now I'll switch to the source code of the yellow page. That's the page that is inside the iframe. Now we're going to work with its code. I'd like to link to our blue page from this frame. You must be wondering how I'm going to do that. The embedded page can't know the name of its parent page, but there's a little trick that will help us. Let's create a link to the blue page. And here comes the trick. I'll use the target attribute and set its value to _parent. Don't forget about the underscore. Now I'll maximize the browser and test the link to see if it works. As you can see, the blue page opened and the original page with the embedded frame has disappeared. Next, we'll learn how to make links open inside an embedded frame. The Wikipedia example will help us. I want a link from the parent page to open inside the embedded frame. We're going to link to a page on California, for example. First, I have to assign a name to our frame. I'll use the name attribute and set the value to California. Using the A element inside the parent page, I'll create a link leading to Wikipedia. And now the important thing. I'll use the target attribute and set its value to California. Let's look at the result. As you can see, links from the parent document can be opened inside the embedded frame. Let's run through some real-world applications of iframes. Embedding videos from YouTube and using Google Maps are the most typical examples of applying inline frames. We're going to look at both. Let's insert a map and a video into our page. First, I'll open Google Maps. I use it frequently for planning my travels. First, I'll locate the area that we want to insert. I'd like to insert a map of Las Vegas. First, I have to find it. And here it is, the map's on the screen. Now I'll click on the icon in the top right corner. Here's my code for embedding the map. I'll copy the code and paste it into my website. Before we test it, I'll insert a YouTube video into the page as well. To follow the theme, I'll search for a Las Vegas travel guide, for example. I'll open youtube.com and look for the Share option. To generate the code, I'll click on the Embed button. Now I'll just copy the code and paste it in the website. Let's test the final result. A maximized page will show the details better. Here it is. As you can see, it's displayed nicely. Notice that I can easily navigate through the map. Let me run the video too. We see that it works as well. What's nice about this technique is that it imposes no performance penalty on our servers. The video that's running right now only increases the load of YouTube servers, so we don't have to worry about it at all. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you the next time.